Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eddie Marcus again, early, this Saturday morning. You know, every now and then I turn the TV on and YouTube, and we get a chance to see what's going on across the country, how Donald Trump's policies or lack thereof is affecting the people of this country. And I'm seeing now that a lot of white people who perhaps one time have always been in need, some of them, and but they thought things were okay, they found some comfort, enough comfort to still vote for Donald Trump, listening to what he had promised them. And I've heard a lot of pain and suffering. A moment ago, I heard a young lady, she was crying. She said she was working two jobs, just trying to support herself and her three kids. And now she found out that she got a letter saying SNAP is going to do this. And with the little help she was getting, or whatever help she was getting, she won't be able to get that. Now she's trying to find out if she can find a third job. And things are rough and tough, and she just represents one person herself. But there are millions of people across the country going through that. And there are a lot of people just like me looking at her and pissed because they've been so ignorant and allowed their vote to support their problems. And a lot of people just say thank you, maybe you'll learn something. And I'm not going to knock that because I don't know what you've gone through to come up with that attitude. But for me, that's not me. When I hear these people crying, and if I see them on TV crying, my heart goes out, and I almost cry with them because I've heard people say, white people especially, these church white folks in the big mega churches, I've heard them say that God sent Donald Trump. And I have watched Donald Trump since I've known him and since he's been in here on this political stuff. And the only thing I can see that Donald Trump could be connected to God for is if God allowed Donald Trump to come here just to teach America that they are nowhere close to God. America is full of hell, full of hell. In order for Donald Trump to be president of the United States, it had to be enough people in here who couldn't stand God to put him in office. There was enough people here to try to engage themselves in an insurrection. There were enough people here in this country to make sure that it was set up in such a way that he can get back in office. And he's trusting how the power works, that he feels he can get back in office and stay in office and then doing everything he wants to do. And for me, my attitude is that No King's Day protest that went the other day was fantastic. But on Independence Day, it would be my thought that one of the grandest things that the citizens of America could do, especially since that day that you protested, Donald Trump went around and showed you how he cared about you by getting a meme and walking around with some king head on and going around across the people while you protesting, saying you dissatisfied with what he's going on. He's dropping poop poop all over you, telling you what he think about you. It tells me by on that Independence Day, you should come together and the people of America, maybe 100 and maybe if not, I've heard it said 14 million, but maybe 150 million of you should come out of this country and get Donald Trump out of his office. Donald Trump has no business in that office, ladies and gentlemen. Every day that Donald Trump is in that office, it's a day of representation of you. Every evil and low down dirty thing that Donald Trump does, it is you that's doing it. Those people that he got at Alcatraz Island, that is you. That's not just the Republican and Donald Trump and Mega. That is America. Those people that are being blown up in those planes that the Donald Trump is shooting out there in the international waters that you've been hearing about, that's not just Donald Trump and Mega and the War Department. That is America. And if anybody gets pissed off and come back and decide to get America for drop a bomb on America, it's gonna take you down. It ain't gonna get Trump. It's not gonna just get Mega. It's not gonna just get them. It's gonna get everybody over here. So don't you think for one moment that just because it's happening and you're being quiet that you're not paying for it. You're not being held accountable for it. Yes, you are being accountable for it. So God sent us Donald Trump to tell us that we were full of nothing but Satan. We were full of nothing but evil. We have no idea what love is. We got no idea what compassion is. These are words we like to throw around. You don't know what it is. Yes, look at all the time since America been here. They were learning hatred. They were learning racism, white folks were. They were learning bigotry. They were learning deception. That's all they were taught ever since America's been here. That's all white folks been taught, even in the churches. I'm not trying to say everybody bought it, but that's what they were taught. And they're trying to teach it now. And they're trying to remove any history of it from the past so that people can pretend like it didn't happen. And you got a problem when God has given this earth to you, given the resources of this earth to you, so that you could have a career that you love and bring you joy. And you never have to suffer for anything: food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, anything made by the hands of man. You never have to suffer from a lack of peace, prosperity, freedom, joy, and happiness, fulfillment, and satisfaction, and to live your dream. You have to suffer for nothing. And you turn your back on God and go for Trump. You turn your back on God, be like Mega. You turn your back on God and go for racism. You turn your back on God and go for hatred. You turn your back on God and go for prejudice. You turn your back on God and go for superiority. You don't think you a goddamn fool? You are a goddamn fool. Fool. But I better come back and remind you, that's why I'm here. Because God still loves you. And you can change it. You better do it quick.